Hello everybody, today we talk about what can cause your chronic fatigue. We will talk about rest, we will talk about sleep, we will talk about diet and exercise. First of all, be conscious that feeling tired is a subjective effect, is a subjective feeling. So a very fatigued person can be biologically more rested than someone that just feels right. So today we will attempt to grasp the limit by which we may objectively state that we are chronically fatigued. First element, rest and sleep. If we sleep poorly or insufficiently, we will dysregulate our blood sugar, resulting in an increase of blood sugar with all that it entails. So the sleep affects other parameters, but also other parameters affect the sleep, creating a continuous feedback loop in which a cascading component enhances the others and vice versa. So according to scientific data, 80% of the population requires 7 hours of sleep every day. So if you are inside that average Gaussian curve and you don't get the 7 hours of sleep, well, you have a sleep deficiency with all that follows. So this is a quantitative element, 7 hours on average. But there is also a qualitative element or factor. Do I keep waking up during the night, or I get up, to urinate? So regarding sleep and rest, we need to enhance both aspects, okay? And briefly talking about sleep hygiene, we need to pay attention to anything that excites us before going to bed. We need to pay attention also to alcohol, as impact the quality of the sleep, and we need to pay attention about coffee. Okay, so if you experience fatigue, start from relax and sleep. But then we move to hyperglycemia. We already told that hyperglycemia can be caused by the lack of sleep, but also it causes a lack of sleep. When the blood sugar levels rise beyond 100, it might indicate that we are sleeping too little, exerting too much, or that we are overly anxious or agitated. And in such conditions, what happens? The liver continues to release glucose into the blood flow even if we are fine, and our muscle cells are not able to absorb all of it. So many online influencers will tell you, if you're chronically weary, avoid sweets. But that's not that easy and direct. It is pointless to monitor the glycemic peak, since it means nothing, okay? You need to monitor how these glycemic peaks come back to normal, okay? And how much time they take. A normal person will do it very quickly, but if you take long time, there is start the problem. So the stabilizing time of after the glycemic peak is the problem itself. So for this, the first test that is generally done is to assess the glucose following an overnight fast. So if the values are already altered there, then we can look at the glycated hemoglobin for a more long-term patterns, and we can take a glucose test to see our reaction after the sugar load. But also there is a second element. Sorry, just move the camera. There is a second element to keep in mind for the blood glucose, and this is your belly fat. That's why I insist so much in losing fat and losing belly fat, the visceral fat. So the visceral fat from abdominal fat, so inside the abdomen, release fatty acids in the circulation. The fatty acids inhibit the entrance of glucose into the cells, so lowering, I know it's not nice, but something in the eye. So by lowering the visceral fat, we reduce the systemic inflammation, that our body is able to employ the glucidic metabolism appropriately, and we will improve the whole situation. So instead of looking at this or that meal, check to see whether you have visceral fat and attempt to lose it, since that is what matters. So it is preferable to have a mediocre diet but losing weight than having the perfect diet but gaining weight and getting visceral fat. So every both, of course, is the top, and I'm not suggesting you to eat crap. But then the third factor is the training. Our bodies are designed to move. So walking is your sleep-saving, life-saving tool. Statistics shows that those who walk at least 8,000 steps each day have better health than those who walk less steps, and there is a direct correlation. So without becoming a 10,000 step Nazi, walking 10,000 steps a day will improve your insulin sensitivity, keeping the blood sugar level low. But there is also the factor of the training. Training is encouraged for sleep. At least 2 sessions per week I recommend, with 3 to 4 being ideal. But here too, we are again inside the Gaussian curve. If you work out too little and we are at one extremity, we risk feeling chronically fatigued and everything strains our body. If you're training and we're in the middle, this doesn't occur and we're just fine. But if we are on the other extremity of the curve, well, too much training can lead to overreaching and then to overtraining. And guess what it does? It raises your blood sugar levels. So being at both extremities gives a similar symptoms, high blood sugar level, because an excess that cannot be compensated for leads to insulin resistance from the muscles, and hence we have the rise in blood sugar. So we have similar symptoms for the opposite reason, or matter for the opposite cause. The reason is the same, insulin resistance. So training must be rewarded based on our ability, which is also related to other factors like, are you sleeping enough? And we come back to what we told at the beginning. Or maybe you're facing stressful job days, or whether you're a student or you have exam quite soon. Okay, you just had a baby, of stressful situations where you can train less, and your endurance to training and capacity to recover are less. So, concluding this all, if we feel chronically tired, if we wake up in the morning and the will to live is already past, guys, it's not fault of the pizza and of the, so feared hyperglycemic peak and then the hypoglycemic that makes you sleep. It's not that. You need to start looking in your body and habits. Start with your sleep and see if it's in order in terms of both quality and quantity. Check whether your waist is normal. Maybe you are slim, but you have visceral fat, the belly fat below the belly button. And this is a factor that might affect your baseline blood sugar, so you want to check into this. And training, are you active enough? Are you training? And then there is a fourth state, which we just mentioned with the training, and is what is your mental state at the moment, because this will let you handle all the other factors, okay? And now, one little note, because we all go for the pill and the solution. Leave the supplements alone if you're chronically fatigued. The supplements won't be the solution. If someone is telling you if you're chronically fatigued, take the supplements and you're okay, it's trying to sell you something. The point is, you take the supplements and you will hide the symptoms for a while, and you will become depending from the supplements to feel better, even though the effect is most likely a placebo. So go to the root causes and check your sleep, your waist, your training activity level, and how is your mental state. This way, you will start feeling more rested. Hope this may help. Much love and all the best.
Yeah.